Just outside of the patio gym, we have this slab. It typically hosts a collection of things like a smoker and a grill, sometimes some seating, a cooler. It functions okay, but we want something attractive and a cohesive use of the space. So we decided to construct an outdoor kitchen that would bring all of those things together and create a gathering space. The first step was to mark out everything that we have or plan to have in the available space. For materials, we went back and forth regarding whether to go wood or metal. Wood was easier and more familiar, but we had some anxiety about fire and termites. On the other hand, neither of us had worked with metal framing before, so that was intimidating. But when the price of lumber went up so high, that evened the playing field, and we decided to go ahead and go with metal. Once that was determined, we came up with some more detailed plans to estimate how much of everything we were going to need. These are by no means to scale, purely just to come up with a shopping list of what we're going to need and how much. Since we want to do concrete countertops, we went with 20 gauge steel, and that meant a little shopping around town to find it. Cut it, I put a metal cutting disc on our chop saw, which I understand is risky, but we managed to make it through the whole project without getting harmed, though honestly I had anxiety about it the whole time. We started by cutting the channel for the top and bottom of the first wall, which was the outside of the grill side of the L. We took a lot of cues from DIY Eddie's videos, and he recommended these 1-inch screws. First off, 1 inch is unnecessarily long. Secondly, self-drilling is a lie. To save our remaining fingers, we ended up pre-drilling the holes. Since we have 2 drills, it didn't really slow us down that much, and it just felt a lot safer. Most of the studs are 33 inches tall, accounting for the countertop thickness and the cement board, as well as any leveling we have to do. We basically build it as a series of walls that were then put together. We started with the back wall of the grill side, and then made a twin for the front side. These short studs are for the smoker platform. For spots where the channel butts up against the side of a stud, I use these snips to cut out tabs from the sides and just leave the long center area. Then I folded the long edge under, making almost like a cup. Then we could use that long tab to screw it into the side of the stud. I'm on my own today, and I've got to build all the little walls that are going to connect these 2 big walls. So I'm subtracting the width of these 2 things from our desired finished width. I built 2 of these 33-inch ones to go at either end. The completed width should be 24 inches. I'd like to start attaching the pieces at this point, and DIY Eddie gave a little tip about backing out the screws and then reusing them so you get rid of that gap. And unfortunately, that just did not work out for us. Our framing is so tight, there was no way to get a drill in between those studs and put them back in, so we just didn't do that. Since the Kamado Joe smoker is very heavy, I built 3 of these little walls to go under its platform. So here's where we left it yesterday. Almost there. The base for the smoker is pretty much complete. None of this is screwed together, just clamped together. But this morning, as I was getting ready to do the cross part for the grill, it occurs to me there needs to be a support here and here. So I am building 2 more little walls to go in that space. I'm just starting to screw it together now, and I've got this end attached, and I'm working on the middle brace. So in addition to our C-clamp, I pulled out our woodworking clamps to make everything nice and snug as I'm screwing it together. As I'm looking at our dwindling stack of materials and what's been completed so far, I think it's a bit over-engineered. So, first order of business today is I am removing every center stud so that it can be reused for the other half, which is the bar. That's better. I got 3 out. I couldn't get that last one out because the smoker platform is screwed in on the other side, and that would mean disassembling that whole thing, so it's gonna stay. Got the channel cut to support the grill, but before I screw it in there, there's gonna be a door right here for the propane tank, so I've got to put those 2 studs right here. Gotta do it now or I'm never gonna get them in there. So they're going to be the right width for the door, and they're also going to help support the grill on the front. That's the plan anyway. Now the back wall of the bar was blessedly simple. 1 height as opposed to the grill side. Nothing going on that side but knees. But the front side of the bar, say the inside of it that's facing the grill, is a little more complicated because it has accessories. So spacing those studs accordingly requires a little bit of visualization. So I got them out here to see exactly how I need to space these studs. So there's the door that's going to access the trough sink in the top and a couple drawers there. So this is the approximate spacing that I'm going to do, and I just need to put it together now. First thing we did today was add some supports for the grill. I just used a couple pieces of stud mounted horizontally to the inside there. Then we started connecting the 2 walls of the bar together. We dropped the drink trough in temporarily just to make sure our horizontal supports were going to clear it. I also added a couple braces just to make things a little sturdier, as well as a rear support for the grill, making sure that the drip pan will clear it. Then it was time to add all the horizontal supports for the accessories. This space was far too cramped for me to do that cup technique with the braces I did earlier, Instead, I cut the middle part out and left the side tabs so that I could screw them to the face and the back of each stud. Finally, leveling and internal flooring. We used a combination of Trex and shims to give us a nice level surface so that our concrete will look nice in the end. We bought this blade for cutting our laminate flooring when we put it in, and it cut through Trex like butter. Well, we've got it all braced, the flooring in, leveled, but we have some anxiety about this section because it's a little wobbly, and that's where the bar overhang is going to be. It's going to be pretty heavy, so I'm going to spend a little time today reconfiguring this to make it stronger. Alright, now I've added the internal framing. That's in place. In addition, I added one more stud right in the middle. And then on this end, I moved one of them over and added another stud. So now I feel like this bar is rock solid and ready for concrete, which will be in a later episode. Next up is cement board.